Welcome here to Boots on the Ground Radio. You have Jennifer Bodford, the soon-to-be Jennifer Jones, here with the Turf Teacher, only on Boots on Ground Radio. Welcome to Be a Boss and Date a Boss. Every Monday night, live 7 to 8 p.m., as we have just returned from Kentucky at Equip Expo 24 in Louisville, Kentucky. So what's going on, beautiful?
It's Monday.
Of course.
It's the beginning of the work week.
And what a Monday it has been. Oh, my gosh.
For me, it hasn't been a bad Monday. I got to rest today.
You got to do a little chilling?
I did get to do a little chilling.
Well, what about me?
Oh, you're always go, 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 go.
Go, go, go. It was your typical Monday, so not that bad, but nonetheless, super, super busy. So, well, you had an amazing week last week.
I did. I had a blast.
And so you need to tell the listeners from a female standpoint, what was Equip Expo like?
Well, for sake of transparency and honesty here, it has been years since I've been around that amount of equipment in a long time. Now, growing up on a farm, even though we had moved off the farm in my late teen years, my dad always ran equipment, and we had equipment there at the shop. My dad had a trucking business, so I was always around farming equipment.
Yes.
But it had been a few years since I had been up to my neck in farm equipment, landscaping equipment. I mean, anything that you could think of that's related to farming, landscaping, any kind of home, outdoor stuff. It was there. It was there.
And not only the equipment, because you had Equip Expo, but then you actually had, the hardscape side, which was all the landscape lighting, the pavers, the outdoor kitchens. And so I think you liked that probably a little bit more.
I liked all of it. I did. I liked all of it because it brought me back to the days on the farm, being around all of that. There's always been some equipment had been in my life. So I didn't mind it. I actually loved it. My dad for years took all of us kids to the Threshers reunion in Denton around all the tractors and the tractor pulls and all that stuff. So it was like going back to my youth, being around all of that again. And I really enjoyed it. But I did love the hardscape side, the decor side, design side, because that speaks to the artistic side of me. So yes. I really enjoyed that. That was fun.
It was.
It really it made me want to come home and build something.
Well, that's the idea, that it does super motivate us.
It was motivating. It was motivating for you and I both. It re-energized us with the plans and the ideas that we have with each other moving forward in business and, our partnership on that end. It really kind of set the tone for both of us. It helped us both to realize where we really were on our pages together. So I enjoyed that. That was fun.
It was. Now, in your honest opinion, is the 3 days big enough to see everything?
No, it's not. It's not. And we were go, go, go the whole time. Tuesday, we drove up Tuesday morning. It was about a 8-hour drive.
With the stops
with a few
and everything.
Stops, and it wasn't bad.
No.
We got there that night. We went to the Jobber event. That was fun, getting to meet the people at Jobber, because you work closely with them and you use that software for your business. So I got to see a whole nother side of Jobber through that. So that was fun because I work with scheduling in my job through the corporation I work for. So being in the field that I've been in, working with a scheduling system and invoicing and the money side, that was nice to see it in the form that you guys use it. So it was a different perspective. But going up there Tuesday night, going to that event, we went to this one restaurant there downtown. I guess it was
Merle's Kitchen.
Merle's Kitchen. Their honey cornbread was amazing. Like, I wanted to go back every day just to get a thing of cornbread. It was so good. It
Same
was
thing
so
with
good.
the hot wings.
Yeah, well, and I'm not a wings girl. I don't meat on a bone with gristle and fat and veins, all that just grosses me out. I love the smell of wings. I like the sauce. I love to smell it and taste it, but to eat chicken off of a bone, no thank you. I'll let you do that. I'll stick with a grilled chicken breast.
But Merle's Kitchen, we're there every Tuesday night. Mitchell Gordy puts that on, and sponsored by Jobber always, and super fun. And so we just basically went there, had dinner, and then went back to the hotel because we had to be up at the crack of dawn for the National Prayer Breakfast, and we got up at
4:30
on Wednesday morning.
Yeah, we were all, and I'm not a morning person, and I think that's one thing you've learned about me. Like, by lunchtime, my energy is finally at max. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock and roll by lunchtime till midnight. So from lunch, 12 o'clock to midnight at night, that's my happy
That's your hours.
Yeah. I'm a night owl. So getting me up at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm a girl, okay? And I'm not just a girl. I'm a prissy girl.
You're bougie.
I'm bougie, prissy, whatever you want to call me. I got to wash my hair. I got to curl my hair. I got to fix. I got to put makeup on. I got to be, even though I'm in jeans and cowboy boots, I still got to feel like, I've got it together. So we were rolling. Everybody was rolling out of the bed at 4:30. Everybody was trying to get out the door and be down there for the prayer breakfast, which that was an awesome event in and of itself.
Yes.
Being there, hearing Daryl Strawberry talk about his story and where he's come from being in the baseball industry to where he is now in the ministry and how he's being used in that field. It was a nice perspective to see somebody talk about their spiritual side.
Which you don't hear much of.
No, you don't. When it comes to business, people like to keep politics and religion separate from all of that, and it can be a touchy subject. I grew up in church my whole life. My dad's a Baptist preacher. I've been in church my whole life, so to be not around church people was kind of a little foreign to me. So for me, it's nice to see the business mix with the spiritual side of it. So that was nice to hear Daryl Strawberry talk about, where he's been and what he's doing now. But the room was just a buzz that morning. It was fun. To me, it was a great launching pad for the rest of the week to start off with prayer, to start off from that perspective and get those people in the room. And the room was packed.
Yes. Over 200 people?
It was, and he said it was up by 200% from last year. So they're afraid that next year they may not be able to
do it at Expo.
And, they may have to do it somewhere separate because they won't have enough room.
Yep.
Which that'd be awesome if they could do that.
The more the merrier. So, yes.
that was fun. And then we went all day, we were there before the prayer breakfast started at 7. I think we were there at like 6:30 or 6:45, somewhere in that time frame.
Getting set up.
And then, because y'all live broadcasted on.
And the podcast is up on Two Landscape Vets. So if you want to hear Daryl Strawberry, if you missed the live presentation, it is on our website. So if you just go to bootsongroundradio.com and then click on the shows, click on Two Landscape Vets, or, you can hear it on some of the other podcasts. It's already on Spotify, Amazon Music. We're still waiting for everything to be put on Apple Music. But we were listening to our podcast, last night. Or was it this morning? I can't.
No, it was last night.
It was last
on
night.
Amazon.
It was on Amazon Music. So, you can just ask Alexa to play that for you. I don't want to say her name and get her started in the background. There's enough crazy women in the room right now. But, you can listen to the Daryl Strawberry interview that, Hecubus got edited and uploaded to the website. So,
yeah.
It was good.
It was good. The food was good. I wasn't hungry. I don't eat breakfast first thing in the morning because my motto is let my brain thaw out. I need to thaw out first thing in the morning.
It wasn't cold.
I know my brain.
But Kentucky
is
was
frozen.
good. Your brain is frozen.
My brain is in froze mode. I'm still half asleep. I need to thaw out. I need a cup of coffee. I need to get acclimated to whatever situation I'm in. Give me time before I really I need to get wound up a little bit, and it takes me a while, and I think you've learned that about me. But the food was what little bit I did eat. I stole some off of Jared's plate. He had there was grits there, and I don't know,
cheesy grits.
They were some kind of cheesy, but let me tell you, they weren't your normal cheesy grits.
They were the bomb.
They were amazing. As my pastor said a couple weeks ago in church, you sit it on top of my head, my tongue would slap my brains out trying to get to it. It was so good. So it was really good, and I loved it. I enjoyed it.
It was, and you got to meet the Lee Withers.
I did. I've heard a lot about Lee, and he's been on Boots on Radio with you guys, and you've talked about him as your friend, and we've had some social media interaction with him.
Yeah, some crazy
it was nice
FaceTime meetings.
Right, it was nice to meet Lee. I enjoyed meeting him, getting to know him.
And Craig Daniel, that started the National Prayer Breakfast. What was this, like the 4th annual or what?
Fifth.
This was the 5th.
The 5th annual.
So next year is going to be number 6, and like you said, it may be at a different venue because of everybody coming to it. So. That was,
I think it's
awesome.
Grabbing momentum year by year. So next year, and I've heard people say that the expo this year was down on attendance. So I wonder if next year attendance comes back up, will that positively affect the prayer breakfast? So,
and I did hear, we were watching some of the YouTube videos of the influencers and stuff putting it up about Expo, and then there was a video that came up. I think it's going to be in Louisville at least till 2027 is what they're saying, and I hope they never take it away from Louisville. I just don't see it being anywhere else prior to that. But, I've been to Baltimore. I've been to Atlanta when they had them, when they did travel across the country. But Louisville just seems home for Equip Expo.
This was my first year going there, so for me to imagine it being held anywhere else would feel kind of odd to me because Louisville did seem like a good fit. But there again, we're not the owners of the expo every year, so they might make a decision that might affect the location, but I hope they keep it there. I enjoyed being in Louisville. It was a nice place to be. Where we stayed there on the river at the Galt House, it was absolutely beautiful. We had a nice view, and I enjoyed being in downtown. I love to visit cities and get to see landscapes, no pun intended, but pun intended, landscapes of different places. So I enjoyed that. That was fun.
It was.
But it was nonstop. Like, my body is still recovering from all the walking we did.
Yes, all the walking and no sleep.
Yeah.
So I told you, I warned you when you get up there. I was like, sweetie, the hotel room is a place to shower and catch a nap. That's all you're going to do. So
that's pretty much what we did. Well, I will say, was it Wednesday night? We were so exhausted by Wednesday night. We were like, we're just going to come back to the room. And it was late when we got back. We're just going to order pizza. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So we ordered pizza in for everybody and then just hung around in the room Wednesday night, which was nice.
And we crashed early.
And we did. We crashed early Wednesday night. And then Thursday morning we got up and hit the road again Thursday and went all day again Thursday. Yep. But I love stuff like that. I'm not one to sit still. So when I'm moving, I'm moving. Like, I just want to keep going.
Then we were both interviewed by Jobber. So that was cool.
That was cool.
Yep.
I got to learn a lot about Jobber just from one of the sales reps girls that was there. She lives in Toronto, and she was telling me, her job, she travels a lot, and they were just in Nashville. She really enjoyed that, coming to the States and getting to see country, the town of country there in Nashville. So I like connecting with people on those levels. For me, business connections is all about making that personal connection. You get to know that person, get to know what they're about and who they are. You kind of create that bridge between you and that person, which in turn creates that business contact, that networking position that later, hey, I know so-and-so, let me call her up or let me call him up. And, if you need a favor or if you need some help with something, you've got a contact. I'm all about creating those contacts in business.
Yeah. Yes, and they will remember you from next year.
Oh yeah,
they will. I mean, and they remembered turf teacher. They saw the name on the tag and stuff, and so we walked up. They remembered us, and like I said, we use it in Elite Landscape Contractors for scheduling and invoicing and estimating. It is by far, I think, one of the easiest and simplest software packages out there for anybody that's in the service industry. it doesn't have to necessarily be the green industry. They work well for electricians, HVAC, contractors, window washers, painters, anybody that is providing a service. Jobber is the platform they need to be on.
Well, talking to that young lady, I was asking her what platforms they use Jobber for, like what other companies or industries have you used this for? And it was interesting, given my beauty background with cosmetology and the salon world. She was saying she had a company that came and they had like 20 stylists or travel stylists that went around in this big city and went and did services for people. And there's some in the entertainment industry that has a big group of stylists and makeup artists that they send out to, to movie sets and stuff like that. So they used Jobber for that, which I thought was kind of cool because you can do the service. And I love the fact that, and a little bit of a sales pitch for Jobber, but when you go in and set up the job, you can set up the actual service time, the time that's allotted to do that service.
Yep.
And it's the same way in the beauty industry with the salon service. You got somebody that's coming in and they want to get a haircut and they want their color done. You can set time frames for that, and then that stylist is booked for that time frame, and then you invoice that to whoever purchased that time slot. So I liked the ease of their software. It was very user friendly. It was not overcomplicated. Like just that, little bit of time, and we were standing at the booth. She let me go through the computer and look at all of it, so I got to play with it. So it was kind of cool. I enjoyed that.
And so we'll get you set up here so you can play with it and just kind of get in there and get a feel for it. I admit I probably need to go in there and clean it up just a tad bit. But, it's getting that time of year. Everybody, the end of the year, they're getting ready for tax season, going through cleaning up open-end invoices and, work orders that you didn't do, just kind of getting it a fresh start for January 1st, which is right around the corner, believe it or not. We got, 10 days?
It's crazy how fast this year has went.
Yeah, 10 days left in the month of October.
I know. I feel like I was just sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for the Equipment Expo to come, and like all this planning and stuff that we did. I mean, it took us several weeks planning this, planning the trip, planning shopping, we like to stock the room up with snacks and drinks and things like that while we're there, so we're not having to run 10,000 times back and forth to a convenience store.
We took too much.
We did. We overtook. But you know what? I like the way you think, because I would rather have an overabundance of something or a little more of something than not have enough.
Yeah.
I would, and I do that when I pack too. I mean, I don't tend to overpack, but I tend to overpack by a couple of days because you just never know. Yeah. You never know what might happen.
That's true. But, people say, well, why did you take so much stuff? There were 7 of us.
There were
7 of us. And so 7 of us in a very nice room at the Galt House, one of the bigger suites. We had the Roadcaster set up that we never used there in the room because we were always on the trade show floor. Yeah. So we kind of learned. And, this was, I went last year 100% by myself. And so I didn't take everything. Everything that I took could have been fit, was in a backpack and a little duffel bag. So
it was a much different experience for you this year to have, you weren't by yourself.
Nope.
You had several of your team with you, and then you had your fiance with you this year.
That's right.
It was a different experience.
Nobody knows. Or no, we did talk about it last Monday. Yeah.
Did we talk about it a little bit last Monday? Last Monday was it was a debacle. I was late getting here.
I had started the show.
And then we had a computer malfunction, and then we were running to try to get that fixed. And it was just like, we were just like, next week, it'll be better next week.
And then we were trying to get the video camera set up.
Yeah. Well, this is episode 3, so we're only 3 episodes in, and just like anything else, it's like a haircut. I usually tell my clients, it takes me about 3 to 4 haircuts for me to really learn what you like, what you don't like. It's the same with this. It's going to take us a few weeks till we get this perfected and everything's running smooth. I mean, we spent all day yesterday reformulating our whole backdrop and organizing back here, so that was fun to do that. So we're getting there. It'll take a little bit. We're launching, you are launching a radio. I mean, you have your own radio, and then developing your podcast with Russ, with your podcast, and the name of your podcast with Russ is
2 landscape vets.
Yeah, so y'all are doing that in the morning. Then you've got several people that are coming on to the station to do their podcast, and then here's ours. So you're building this from the ground up.
Yes.
So
And
you got a lot going on. Not to mention all the other stuff that you do for business. I mean, my goodness, I was thinking about you on the way back over here this evening for us to do our podcast. You know, just how busy you are and what all you have going on. I mean, you're just go. You're a professor with the community college. You own Elite Landscaping, and then you are the turf teacher. And then now you've got Boots on Ground Radio, and then we're getting ready to throw another business in the mix. So
it's and so I guess we need to tell about that, because after visiting all the booths there and really looking at equipment, really looking at other services, and I had spoken with this pool company a couple of years ago. I really didn't get to speak with them last year. I'm thinking it was the year before, but what was the name of the pool company?
Well, there's some controversy between Russ and me on how to actually pronounce it. I'm not French. I will never speak French because.
Est-ce que tu parles français?
Oh my goodness! See, and
je ne parle français bien.
I think French is such a beautiful language.
It is.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful, but I would butcher it with my Southern slang. So,
I'm as Southern as you are.
I mean, I took Spanish in high school, and I thought I was fantastic, and I really was. I was good at Spanish. I took 2 years of Spanish, but I also played the piano for a Spanish church for 3 years. So I was around the Spanish culture, and then when I went to college in Chicago, I was around intense Spanish culture. So I was around it for a lot, but it's like anything else. If you don't use it, you lose it. So I haven't really practiced it in several years, but French, I think it's a beautiful language. I would love to learn that language. Now, if I could speak it correctly, it would be a whole nother situation. But the name of the pool company, from what I understood, was Des Joyaux. But I don't think that's the right pronunciation. Is it Des Joyaux? I think it's Des Joyaux. We did this morning. We looked up translations, and we can't figure out what's the proper. Is it Deja or Deja? So I'm gonna spell it. It's D.
How to pronounce it in YouTube?
Oh my goodness! So correctly in French and YouTube. This should be interesting. I wonder what they're saying. I don't know if we can hear it. Is it playing? I don't hear nothing playing.
Des joyaux.
Des joyaux. You got to say it really slow. Des joyaux.
I am never going to be able to remember that.
Des joyaux.
Oh my gosh.
But I am a pool girl. I have always been a pool girl. I wasn't a pool girl until I had a pool. Let me put it this way. And once I had a pool, I became a pool girl. I love a swimming pool. I have spent many a summers in a swimming pool. My ex-husband and I decided that, we wanted our kids to grow up around a swimming pool. I wanted my boys to grow up around water because I didn't. My mom was afraid of me being in water because she had a fear of water. But I have also had so many surgeries done on my ears, and both of my eardrums, I've had tympanoplasty done to both eardrums. It's basically reconstruction of the eardrum. So I've had some hearing loss. And because of that, my mom was a little overprotective of me being in water, messing with my ears. So I didn't grow up in a swimming pool, but I loved being around my friends' pools and doing that. But I was the girl in the shallow end because I was afraid to get under the water. But because of that, I didn't want my kids to be afraid of water. I wanted them to learn how to swim. I wanted them to grow up around it. Mm-hmm. And so my ex-husband and I decided we were going to put a pool in. So my oldest son is 20.
Yeah.
We put the pool in when he was 2 years old. So 18 years of his life, he grew up around a swimming pool. Him and his brother both are lifeguards now. So, which I think is a cool thing because they grew up in a swimming pool all summer long. I mean, I was a stay-home mom, so at that time in my life, I was a stay-home mom. That's before I went back to school. And we spent every waking day at the pool, around the pool. So for me, the way I view a swimming pool is it's an oasis in your backyard. I had some friends that their parents put pools in, and when they put the pools in, they make the decision, it's a pool or it's a vacation. You can't have both. So the pool became their vacation spot.
Yeah.
And so for me, in putting a pool in the backyard is your vacation. It could be a vacation from the job for the day. You know, you come home and you've worked all these hours and you're just exhausted and you just need to rest and relax, and you've got this pool and landscaped in the backyard. It's just truly an oasis. There is something about being outside, being around water that's very peaceful and settling and just kind of connects you back with nature for that time being. So
it is
brings you back around.
And it is. And, you know, today's pool environments is not for really swimming. It's really for just relaxing.
Yeah.
You know, they're smaller, they're L-shaped, so you're not getting the distant swims in. If you're wanting miles or laps, you're going to have to go to the Y. But it is, like you said, that oasis that has the outdoor kitchen, that has the hardscapes, that has the outdoor entertainment area. So it is outdoor living space, you know, wrapped up into one. So I'm really looking forward to getting together with those guys. And I hate that we didn't do dinner with them because the pool company said that, you know, they wanted us to come. They had some other distributors that were there. So basically it is a distributorship, and you can only sell and build their pools. But I think it's really, really worth looking into and pursuing that, because I believe the support system, the other dealers that they have, you know, the couple that we met there that's been doing it, I mean, super nice and was so helpful and like, hey, come and look at our stuff, look at our showroom. And I think that could be a really good thing. And there's only one other dealer in North Carolina that's in the Raleigh area. So
I think for me, it definitely falls into that backyard, the hardscapes. What I really liked about the expo is seeing all those options and seeing the patios. And
however, seeing you run that John Deere excavator was I mean, you look like a natural on it.
I'd honestly, he could have left me in that thing all day, and I literally would have played in that thing all day long. Like, yes. I would have had so much fun with that.
But there were so many people lined
there
up.
He had to come and tell me. He's like, listen, I'd love for you to stay here, but I'm getting a line. I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm leaving now. But I had so much fun. You know, growing up on the farm, you know, I wasn't always allowed to be on all the equipment. My dad and grandpa were always like protective, want to make sure we were safe. But there were times I would sneak on a tractor and take off on it. One time, I'm going to tell on myself, I think I have told my dad this story. I got on one of his little Massey tractors, and I was just riding it through the woods. Well, I miscalculated the width of the tractor and then the width of the two trees, and I went to go between the two trees,
and it didn't fit.
I know I got me and the tractor stuck between the two trees. So these little things like this happened in my life. I mean, that's just the way it was. But I loved playing on the equipment. I loved driving. I mean, I've been driving my whole life.
That's true.
Yeah, you could have left me in that John Deere all day, and I would have been in paradise. Yeah. I absolutely loved it. That thing, you know, pinching and grabbing those plates, and it was like a puzzle, and you was trying to, oh my gosh, I had so much fun.
So much fun.
It was fun. I loved it.
But, you know, back to Expo, it'll be 1 year today that it starts. It is October 21st of 2025. So it is 1 week later than it was this year. So, which I think will maybe could possibly hurt us for the last topic that we're going to talk here on the show, which is Christmas light installation. So
now that is your expertise. I don't know a whole lot about installing lights except me installing my own lights, and they're not always professionally done. So I'm going to learn a lot about Christmas light installation from you, learning from the professional.
So you'll actually listen to me. Well,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm just kidding.
Absolutely. Hey, if it's a moneymaker, honey, I will listen. You tell me how to do it.
And guys, Christmas lights is a moneymaker, and to be honest with you, that's kind of why I looked at the pool side, because I think both of those are emotional buys. You know, people want that backyard vacation. They want the staycation, not the vacation. So they put money into the pool. You know, the pool company offers financing for the customers, so it's, you know, a long-term investment for them. And so we kind of do all the landscaping around the pool, come back and do the Christmas lights, and it is amazing to see what people will spend on Christmas lights. A lot of people will spend more on Christmas lights than they will the entire year for mowing their yard, doing the fertility apps. It's just a big emotional buy, especially if they say Grandma and Grandpa is coming to our house this year for Christmas. And we hear that a lot. And these customers may not do nothing, the previous year or next year, but if Grandma is coming to visit them at Christmas this year, they want to outdo their other siblings, from the previous houses. So we're going to be doing lights. We got 3 jobs that we're going to do this week. We should have been installing Christmas lights prior to going up to Expo, but with all the tree work that we've had to do for Harris Teeter, it's been a little tough.
That has been a pretty big job. Y'all have spent a lot of time on that job.
Yes, and finally got we're getting a draw from it. An invoice for a draw on it. So hopefully we'll get that check by Friday or Saturday.
I mean, that's the whole reason why
crossed.
you're in business anyway, right? I mean, it's to put food on your table.
Yes,
it's to put a roof over your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but Christmas lights is right around the corner. We got to see Jimmy Tompkins up there at Equip Expo, who is our Christmas light vendor, lights for decorators. They're out of Durham or Raleigh, North Carolina. I call it Durham because I go through Durham, but I end up in Raleigh. And Jimmy is a turf teacher client. He takes all my continuing education classes. So, it's natural that I, buy from him. And plus we can, we're an hour and 20 minutes from his area. His shop, so we can go down to his warehouse, get loaded up on the trucks, and get exactly what we need. And so a lot of people are saying, do we need all this early discounts? Well, I've looked at the numbers for us when it comes to purchasing early on. Yeah, possibly. But, what you're doing is basically saving money on your shipping. So if you're ordering for somebody and they're having to ship it in, you order in, January or February, you're getting that discount, and basically that pays for your shipping. It's still, the same cost. But with Jimmy being right here, we load up the truck and trailer, go down there and get what we need. I don't want to have to store it or anything like that. So to me, it's just a little easier to go and get what we need when we need it. But we've sent out, estimates, emails. I had a multitude of people calling today wanting quotes for lights, wanting to get on the schedule. And it's kind of hard to believe that there are people that are wanting it this week. Halloween is next week. So definitely if Halloween was this week, people would be like screaming, wanting it up so they can have it up November 1st. It's like a light switch, turn off the Halloween decorations and then Christmas automatically comes on. So, but really, really looking forward to getting in that groove. But it's hard to think about Christmas lights when it's 85 degrees outside.
I know it's been unseasonably warm for us. It was nice last week in Louisville because it was cold.
It was very cold.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed wearing, boots and, the jackets and everything with the insignia on it for the businesses. That was fun. I like to layer up.
Yeah.
And right now it is not layering weather. It feels like summer out here. It's ridiculous.
It's T-shirt. It's still T-shirt time. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to getting started with the Christmas light. I think that's something that you are going to enjoy. Just with all the samples that you take to clients' houses and show them, the different colors, the different bulbs, the different garlands, the different wreaths, the different everything. So I'm ready to get it going. So
I just can't believe it's that time of the year.
It is.
Like I'm sitting here like it's really, we're coming down. We're what's today? The 21st?
Yeah, October 21st.
It's hard to believe. Christmas is how many days away?
We have 65 days.
65 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 60. I wrote that on there yesterday. Say the Monday, October 21st, 65 days to Christmas, 365 days to Equip Expo 2025. So
yeah, we've got a whole year. And we got a lot of planning to do for next year for the Equipment Expo. I think next year you and I talked about staying and actually going back for the Friday. We didn't do Friday this year.
We got up and left.
Yeah, because we had to be back on the road.
And if we have a booth, we have to.
Yeah,
But
that's a whole nother aspect too.
You
doing
can't.
a boots on ground radio booth,
Yep.
which I think that would be beneficial for you and Russ to do, and for us to do live broadcasting. He did live broadcasting there, but thankfully we had someone that was willing to share the booth with us to broadcast from.
Yeah, thanks to Gio Ripper, JJ. for allowing us to do that. And I liked their booth because they had the couch. It was in a good
spot.
It was in a great spot, and they had that couch. Like, it was perfect. You didn't hear this morning Russ talking about the guy that fell asleep? It was nobody that was interested in buying a Geo Ripper. It was somebody like an older man that just came by, sat down, and they said like within 2 minutes, head was tilted back, and you could hear the snoring. And he said they just let him sleep.
Bless his heart.
And they said when he woke up, he realized, he's like, where am I at? And he's like, he realized that he had fell asleep on that couch. And he was embarrassed.
Oh,
so.
Bless his heart. Well, he must have been exhausted like the rest of us. I mean, it's a lot. You and I, because I wear an Apple Watch, it tracks our steps, and 2,000 steps equals a mile. So on the days that we were there, I looked the other day, and so we could calculate like how many steps we made. So let's see, Wednesday of last week, Tuesday, almost 8,000 steps. So it's 4 miles on Tuesday.
On the floor. That was Tuesday.
That was Tuesday. That was before we even went
made it to the trade show. And 8 hours was spent in the truck.
I know, but somehow we managed to clock in 4 miles. Maybe it was from all the downtown walking Tuesday night.
When we got there Tuesday.
Yeah. So that was on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we managed to walk almost 9,000 steps, which is 4.5 miles on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we walked almost 7 miles on Thursday.
Yeah. And that was all in. That was
just indoors. It was.
Because Wednesday was when we went outside. Or did we go outside Wednesday?
No, we went outside on Thursday.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That was fun, too. I like that they had the demo side. Like, you can go in and look at everything indoors, like look at all the equipment and see what each company had out there for you to look at and what you might be interested in as a buyer or even as a distributor. I really like the fact they had options for people to become distributors, not just retail. But then you go outside and it was like a massive field space. Like, just, it was massive.
Yeah.
And you could go out there. They had was it the UTV or the RTV? You could actually go out there and race them with people.
Basically, yeah.
And there was one, I don't remember the name of the company, but somebody had their zero-turn radius mowers set up for you to race and see if you could beat a certain time. And these guys were like flying out there. It was fun to watch them. Like, they was trying to clock their times. I'm like, who is mowing grass that fast anyway?
Yeah.
But maybe there are some. Dixie Chopper was there. Dixie Chopper is known as the world's fastest lawnmower. I'm like, I would kill myself on that. But there was those, and then John Deere had their big expo, which, coming from the insurance field, I think liability. It's always about risk and, trying to figure out, what the risk is. And I like that they had a thing you had to go in and sign a waiver. I mean, the equipment they didn't even allow their equipment to move. Like, the equipment stayed in one spot. There were other vendors that was letting people drive. And I wonder, the ones that the couple of them that you were on, you didn't have to sign a waiver, but John Deere made you sign a waiver.
Yeah, at the outside at the demo area.
Yeah.
So,
which I thought that was very smart on their behalf to do that. But their whole setup was just very professional, very the aesthetics of it drew you in just because, hey, look at us, we're huge. Look at our equipment. They had the big old tent, went indoors in the tent.
Yeah.
That was really nice. And they had all those different things set up. But I tend to be a John Deere girl.
Same here.
My dad, my grandpa had them. Now, they were big Massey Ferguson fans, which I was surprised to not see Massey up there. I looked.
Massey Ferguson is more agriculture.
That's why.
They don't have a landscape or construction side of the house. It's all farm equipment.
But they do mowers. My dad's has had several of their lawnmowers. So I was really surprised to not even see Massey up there at all, even for that side. But they are big for agriculture, for cropping and farming.
They're probably at Equip Expo for the farm show.
That's true. And we don't do the farm show.
It's I think that's in February.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's a cold month. That's really cold.
And so I'm wondering if they even have the outdoor demo for that. Because, you know, even though there's, 30 acres outside, it's kind of hard to demo a combine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you'd really have to make sure you have a waiver for that unless somebody get in your combine and drive it.
And so, you know, I'm thinking of
That
stuff
would make
like
sense.
that. So
That would make sense.
So maybe it is all indoors.
But that was fun. You know, I'm the girl that loves to drive and loves motors. I like to race. I've always said I should have been Danica Patrick. I've had a couple speeding tickets. But I do. Like my dad and my brother and I, we would go to these golf cart, not golf cart, but the go-kart places where you like I'm brutal. Like get me out on a go-kart race between my dad and my brother, like we're wrecking each other.
Yeah.
Like I'm brutal. So I'm not afraid to run equipment. I love that. I love that kind of stuff.
Well, good.
I do. I love it.
Well, good.
Yeah.
It was fun watching you run the excavator. Taking the claw and pick it up.
That was fun. You should have gotten on it.
Yeah.
Why did you not get on it?
I don't know. Like you said, we were so busy. You know, I ran the Yanmar excavator prior to that, and then we got you on the John Deere. You know, and as soon as I finished the Yanmar, you know, walks up Dirt Monkey, and so got to talk to him a little bit. One of my dearest and closest friends. I love that guy to death. And then we went and found the John Deere. But see, we were looking for excavators, and so I test drove the Yanmar, which is an excellent machine. I wanted to get on the Kubota because we'd recently just bought a Kubota skid steer, and like you said, we've always been John Deere. And it's really, you know, sad. You know, they delivered that Kubota skid steer the day my dad passed away. So we actually had Ag Day here at the Strawberry Farm. And so Sync Farm Equipment brought it up, and they knew we were looking for one. And I said, hey, you know, is that the one? You know, is that the one that I will get if we decide to buy it? He said, yes, it'll never leave here. We just signed the papers next week. So that was on a, you know, Dad passed away on a Saturday morning, and so they delivered it, and we decided to keep it. You know, and I remember before Dad passed away, he said, son, it don't matter about buying John Deere. It don't matter about buying Skag. He says, you buy the dealer. You go with a dealer that you know is going to take care of you.
Right.
And Sync Farm Equipment down in Lexington, North Carolina, we know for a fact is going to take care of us. Same thing with Riddle Farm Equipment here in Winston-Salem. So our two, you know, big Kubota dealers. You know, Riddle just sells the tractors and stuff, whereas, you know, Sync has the tractors and the construction side. So bought the skid steer there, and we'll probably, you know, look at a Kubota excavator just because, you know, just love the Sync family down there.
Out of all of the products at the expo, what is your most favorite product to see every year when you go? Like maybe not necessarily the product, maybe it's the vendor, or maybe it's the actual, you know, the company that you really like. Who, out of all of that, like, what is your most favorite thing to do when you're there?
Like you said, it's the people. Like we can see the equipment anytime, you know, online or, you know, videos, or going to our dealers that are local. I love seeing Tony Bass with Super Lawn Trucks. You know, I've known Tony since 1998. Met him when we were part of the Christmas Decor franchise system. You know, and me and Dad sat right beside Tony in Atlanta doing our Con Ed. So as a franchisee, we had to have so many hours of continuing education. And so met him, stayed friends throughout the whole time. Nick with Mulchmate, you know, love seeing Nick.
That was cool because he did a reveal this year.
He had a huge reveal for a new piece of equipment. I just want to know where he found a tarp that big.
It was huge. Like I thought the abominable snowman was going to come out from under that thing. It was so huge, but it was a cool piece of equipment, and I guess it was that huge because he had it raised to its maximum height to show you. So I'm sure it doesn't look that big when it's at its normal
and you know
state.
For what that thing was, I think it was priced, you know, perfect price point. You know, for what it can do for you. I was expecting it to be a lot more, but when he said, you know, this is probably what the, you know, the prototype cost will be, I was like, well, dang, man, he's going to sell a ton of those.
Yeah.
So,
because we looked at a bunch of other ones that were there. His was very practical, and for all the uses, he had some options on that the other ones did not think about or incorporate. So.
Exactly, and think about it, because you know, Mulchmate it will not only do the mulch, but you can use stone, you can do dirt, especially with that new reveal that he had that lifts up, the Mulchmate lifts up, and then you can drive in those motorized carts and, empty into it and then take it to.
Those carts reminded me of the carts on at the airport. The luggage carts. It looked like that, but its purpose was
to fit underneath it and fill up the hopper and then take it. And
then the front of the trailer was a spot to drive the little cart on to pull it on the back of a truck. So
whole self-contained.
He thought about every aspect of it. Yeah. That was pretty cool. So props to
Nick. Yeah, and see, he's a big race car driver, NASCAR driver. So he's just got the engineering.
I love it.
Mindset.
I love it.
So
yeah,
it's always good to see him and his dad and uncle. So
now, where is he from? I don't remember.
If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you. I'm thinking they are Pennsylvania.
If Nick is listening, it was nice to meet you, and it was nice to see the reveal. That was fun. It drew a crowd. A lot of people were curious what it was going to be. So his whole reveal, he did a good job with that.
Yep.
Yeah, he did a great job with that.
He did. Let's see. Where is Nick? Come on, give me your location here, buddy.
You may have to scroll all the way down.
It's all the way down. Yeah, and he's in Maryland.
Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah,
I knew it was
north. It's up north.
I knew it was like northeast, but Maryland. So good deal. Yep, Dawson Manufacturing. So Glen Burnie, Maryland.
I love to see people like Nick who have a vision and they literally put that vision into action and then they do something with it. It's not just a vision left on a piece of paper. It gets shoved in a drawer somewhere. I would never do that.
Yep.
He actually walked it to fruition.
Yeah.
Till now it's prototype. Now it's ready to be manufactured. It's cost effective. He's put everything into it. That, for me, that's inspiring for other people that are at this show and can see that somebody like Nick, if they can do it, why can I not do that? Yeah. I love to watch inspirational stories like that.
It might be hard to do what Nick's done.
Nick, that's not everybody can do that. That's true. That's true. But it should plant a seed for anybody that has a hope or a dream or a wish for their company or their business.
Yeah.
To take an idea and run with it. Okay, maybe you run it into a wall later. So what? But at least you tried.
Well,
at least you tried.
And like I said, you may not be able to do what he's done, but you can get the inspiration from him to do whatever it is that you're going to do.
Yeah.
So, not everybody's going to be Mr. Mulchmate,
No.
But they may develop a small hand tool that every single landscaper must have.
Yeah.
And
I've always been one of those people, man, I should have thought of that. Like, that's so simple and stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I should have been able to figure that out, but I don't necessarily have that brain where I'm engineering or, that mindset. But
a lot of great landscape engineering has come from guys in the field that's like, how in the world can I make this easier and better?
Right, yeah.
And so, and the more and more I study the Mulchmate and see that product, we should have had one years ago, but still it's to me, it's a brand new company. I mean, he's still young. He's a young man, he's a lot younger than myself. But it's still good to watch him, from day one come out with his stuff. So,
well, I guess it's safe to say you and I both agreed on the most favorite thing at the show was the Mulchmate. That was the whole reveal. What Nick did, that was probably.
And we didn't even know he was going to do it until we walked up, and he's like, "Dude, what's up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." And he's like, "You staying to watch the reveal?" That
was cool. So, that was pretty cool. I think outside of that, I think my most favorite thing at the expo was the fried fish. I had it 2 days in a row, and it was so good. It was so good. And you loved the chicken tenders. Like, that was your thing. But just, isn't it funny how the most simple things can make you so happy? Like, we were go, but it was in that time frame where, we're hungry. We need to eat.
We were depleted of energy.
We would go get our food and literally sit on the floor against the wall and just chill out for 30 minutes. And it was nice.
Yeah.
You and me and then Jared and Jaden, my boys stuck to us. They never left because they had all the camera equipment. They were our tech video guys. But Ethan and Caleb Russ was broadcasting, but Ethan and Caleb just kind of done their own thing, and you know, we left them to it. But it was just nice to sit and just chill. And I like to people watch, so I not only do I enjoy eating, but I also enjoy people watching. So I got to eat and watch people at the same time, and that was pretty fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and something that I did notice that was there more this year was females.
There were a lot. I was surprised to see that too. I mean, given the percentage, we were still, us girls were the very small percentage. Yeah. Unless you were a distributor or had a booth, most of the women that I saw on the floor were usually with their spouses.
Yes.
Why our doing a podcast that speaks to relationships is important, because more often than not, there are men like our friends, the Stripe King.
Yeah.
They followed Calvin followed me today on Instagram. I was like, yeah, man, I didn't know who that is. Cool. So he sent me a request, and I followed him back.
And he's already got a bunch of pictures up from Expo. We've still not put half the footage.
We haven't put anything up because it's all hard, raw footage right now. And Jared is working on getting it all put together. So we're just waiting on him to get it together. So, but once it's done, we'll upload and post everything. It was hard for him to really spend the time to do really good work, from the truck or in the hotel room. It was tough. He's working on it now. But there again, there's a family-based business. It was him and his son at the expo. And, I got to know him, I got to know his son, and we stood there and had these conversations and learning about, this is a side gig that turned into a lucrative business for him that now his son is doing it. Now his son is kind of bought in and got his own little niche going. So, it's important for small business families. You're running a business. You're creating relationships outside of that home with your clients and with other businesses. It's B2B, it's business to business, creating contacts, getting to know, and going to the expo. You and I talked about the difference between some people that go to the expo and they loathe it versus the people that go and they're excited about it. The difference is the ones that loathe it, they're just there because they have to be. The ones that go and are excited about it, is they're the ones that's in it, and they're in it for the right reasons, and they're networking, and they're getting to know people, and they're creating those relationships. It's truly, in business, it really is about who you know.
Yes.
It really is.
Yep.
And creating that trust factor, you can make relationships all day long, but what can break a relationship is trust. Trusting your vendors, trusting your distributors, trusting your clients, but also your clients trusting you. They're paying you for a service. They're trusting you to get it done and get it done right. We talked to that couple there at the expo. They were sharing a business experience that they had that cost them more money out of pocket to go back and redo a job. And it's like we were saying, it was cheaper for them to go redo the job than them to go file it and then call a complaint in because it was homeowner related. It's important to make sure that what business you're creating and the jobs you're creating, that you're doing right by the client and right by the business. Because at the end of the day, bad, negative feedback reaches more people than positive feedback does. So it's important, and that can affect your family, can affect your home life. There's just a lot to balance in a business. Whether you're a big business, a small business, doesn't matter. Business is business. Yeah. And it's important to create those lasting, trusting relationships. Especially with your vendors, especially with your clients. And yes, and you made a quote last night, or showed me something that you saw on social media. Create an environment where employees train your employees well enough that they can leave, but treat them good enough that they want to stay. Yes, exactly. But sometimes that's hard to do. It is hard to do. There again, it's a balancing act. Anything you do in life, you have to balance it. And striking that balance is difficult. That's something I've learned in my older age, and I'm not that old, but baby, you close to me. You just look it. You just look young. Well, and you're not old to me. I don't feel we're old. I feel like we're reaching our middle ages. True. But
And unfortunately, I feel like I'm 20. I really need to feel my age.
Mentally, I don't feel my age. I still feel like I'm 18 years old. And what I love about my age right now is I still feel young mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all this. I still feel young, but now I have the experience that mixes with all that, and I can say well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
There's a different way of doing this. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
But even in relationships, like you and I, we both have been divorced, and here we are. We're on the journey of us getting married next year, and it's important to us to balance our business and our home life. We don't want it to overtake on either side, and that could be difficult.
Yeah.
It could. You and I, we're keeping the roads hot, baby.
You ain't kidding.
We are keeping the roads hot.
I fill up a big diesel truck at least 2 times, sometimes 3 times a week. So
I know. And keeping our kids happy.
Yeah.
I want to speak a little bit to the kids. You've got children at home. You're a business owner. You and your wife are probably more than likely running the business. And then you've got kids at home that are suffering the after effects of dad being gone all day, being on the job or being in the office. And then you got mom, she's over here running around trying to keep,
the household going.
Yes, paying the bills or, cooking or cleaning, whatever that is, running kids to games, running kids' hair. And at our stage where we are, our kids, we've got half and half. We got half that's in college and one that's still in high school. Yeah, I've got one in high school. You got one in high school, and then our oldest ones are in college. So we're not quite at the birds are out of the nest yet, but balancing that while they're still in the nest and giving them that proper foundation so that they can leave the nest one day, making sure that our kids feel paid attention to, they're getting time with us. Even our relationship, you and I are struggling to find time because we literally have 2 different households.
Yeah.
I have a house in Moxville, you have a house in Pofftown. We're trying to make this work, but we're also trying to find time for our kids and family. My parents, your mom, your brother, I've got a brother and sister. It's a lot of things are in the juggle of life that we have, not just business. And it's hard some days.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Very hard.
It's tough.
And what it really interferes with is sleep.
Yeah.
It's, I average about 4 hours a night and, had my teeth cleaned before we did the show. And I was yawning and she's like, okay, well, it's not nighttime yet. Why are you yawning? I'm like, well, I only get about 4 hours a night. And it's hard. You know all too well about me falling asleep.
You do. You will fall asleep. Like you're 100% in 1 minute, and then the next minute you're 0.
Yeah,
it's like gone, out, done, over.
When my body says it's time to sleep,
it's gone.
You
can forget it. Any conversation. You and I are having a conversation the night, and I got tickled. You were literally falling asleep mid-sentence. Like your words started becoming like, and then you realize that you're just like, was I asleep? Yes, babe, you were asleep and you're still talking to me.
It was one night last week that we were FaceTiming. You were at your house. I was here.
Yeah.
And I was like, sweetie, you're dozing off. And you're like, no, I'm not. But them eyes were getting heavy. You're going to drop that phone on your toe.
I know. Balancing work and family, everything all together, it's tough. And I'm exhausted. You talking about you get 4 hours of sleep. Now I'm the one, I need my sleep. Like if I get less than 6 hours, I'm no good to nobody. Like I'm no good to myself. I'm no good to you or my kids or people at work. I got to have a good night's rest or I can't function. And it will trigger migraines for me. If I don't get enough sleep, it will trigger a migraine. And usually when those migraines sets in, it will last 2 or 3 days. Like it could be a
drink of Celsius.
Oh, well, something I've learned, and my doctor told me to incorporate this in my nightly routine, is take magnesium at night. And I've learned when I don't take it, I don't sleep well. I have muscle aches and cramps, especially if I'm not drinking enough fluids and water. Those things matter. But that's a whole nother conversation, baby, when we start getting into supplements. But yeah, I need my sleep.
Yeah.
But this week at Expo, we didn't get a whole lot of sleep, did we? It was go, go, go. But I had a blast.
We had a blast, but even look at this week. so far it's already started off just boom, 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 boom.
It is.
So,
Well, you know what? Thought hit me today. Money never sleeps.
money never sleeps. Monotonous work makes money.
Yep. There you go.
All right, sweetie. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Well, thank you for letting me join you.
This has been fun. Well, this is our show.
This is our show.
Be a Boss, Date a Boss here only on Boots on Ground Radio. If you tuned in late, download the podcast here to be up in about 30 minutes. And we will see everybody when?
Next Monday night,
7
o'clock.
Here, only on Boots on Ground Radio. Hopefully we'll have the app up by then. So
Hopefully.
it's just taking a little bit longer. Anyway, guys, I love each and every one of you. Turf Teacher out. You want to say goodbye, babe?
Good night, everybody.
We will catch you later.